On the Throttle Television brings you the season finale of the USGPRU 2010 from Miller Motorsports Park. And hello everybody, this is going to be the full course, nearly 4.5 miles of racing surface here at this beautiful facility, the foothills of the Rocky Mountains. Snow in the forecast, but Mother Nature instead has smiled upon us for great weather conditions here to finish up the season of the United States Grand Prix Racing Union with the Pilot 125 GP race. OTT and USGPRU would like to thank all of its sponsors, Honda and Moriwaki, makers of the MD250H, and our special presenting sponsors for this race, Pilot, racing apparel for the very, very best, and Arai helmets when only the best will do. The 125 season is wrapping up, and for many of these competitors, they can hardly believe it. It seems like only yesterday when the first race of the season was held, and here we are already looking at the last one for 2010.
John Schindel, it's been, I think, 4 years when we met you. Was one of the first events we did was a USGPRU race, and you were fighting for a title. So what you been doing for the last few years?
Well, that 2006 season was really successful. I was able to actually pull out second, so I call myself the first loser of that season, behind PJ, of course, and PJ's gone on to do greater and bigger things. So mainly life kind of caught up with me. Racing is not cheap. My kids got into college, and so I was trying to take care of them, and so basically life caught up to me, and I did just some track days and keep it fresh here and there, but overall it's been 4 long years now that I've been out of the racing scene earnestly, and now just trying to get kind of reintroduced back in, get a new partner with me, and kind of feel it out and see how we're going to be doing for next year.
Yeah, tell us about this young man.
This young man, he's a good friend of my daughter's from high school. They basically met, and he started riding, and she said, "Oh, my dad rides," and so through about a 2-year cycle, I just happened to run into him up on a mountain road in Southern California. He says, "Oh, you're Cassidy's dad, right?" I said, "Oh, yeah." So we started talking, and I got him out to a racetrack, actually off the mountain and on a racetrack. And he's familiar with the big 600s, so he rides a 600 for fun. And finally, I said, he's got my same build, he's my same weight. I got to put him on a 125, and I need a racing partner anyway. So let's try it, and that's what we're doing here this weekend.
So now, after some time, you think this is a good idea? This was the way to go?
A lot more to it than I ever expected, but definitely it's amazing. Getting out here on the track, getting off the roads, really, you get to have a lot more fun. Less to worry about, more to focus on the riding than other things. That's great.
So you were riding street bikes then, and now this is really your track experiences on these 125s.
Right. Well, I got out on the 600 to the track first with John, and doing that, and he was always riding the 125, so got me psyched on that and getting racing. So got off the 600, and now I'm riding the 125 more. Yeah.
Tell us about the power differences. I mean, there's no engine braking on these things. Have you had to learn how to use the rear brake?
Rear brake? Is there one, John? No, it's front brake. No engine braking. It's really just staying smooth and keeping the RPMs up. That's different. In 600, you got power where you want it, and the 125, you got to keep it in that RPM range to keep going quick.
Do you see how it can help you later on in 600s when you start doing that again? Definitely.
Making me smoother, getting the lines down, getting the RPM, keeping it up there, because that's when you're faster, is when your RPMs are up and you're staying smooth through the corners.
Well, let's see how they do. On to racing action here in the Pilot 125 GP. Jake Lewis, no surprise there as he gets the whole shot with Nobi Iso and Joe Roberts, youngster, in third position. So that's the way they are right now. Jake Lewis out in front on his red and white Aprilia, showing that speed. Nobi Iso on a similar machine. Just behind him, Joe Roberts and the rest of the field. There's Lex Hartle in there. Watch for Ryan Matter. He missed qualifying, had a little bit of a problem. He had to start at the very last position of the grid, but we know he's fast on that Honda. So out in front, Jake Lewis on the Aprilia makes the turn with the entire field stretched out in a long single file line behind him, breaking duels in every one of those hard braking corners. Jake Lewis, Joe Roberts taking over the number 2 position, Lex Hartle sitting in third, and Nobi Iso back and forth. The KG veteran likes to watch these youngsters to see if he can make a run at them when it counts. The rest of the field streaming through. What a huge field of riders we have, including our visitors from back east, from the islands of the island and of Bermuda, and all over they have come for this USGPRU finale. Jake Lewis looking a lot like the Jake Lewis that we're used to seeing. He has never been off the podium when he finished a race in any class. Meanwhile, Lex Hartle leads Joe Roberts and Nobi Iso in a tight little battle here for the runner-up spot that appears at the moment. Jake Lewis is just a shadow in the distance at this point. So it's the Aprilia of Jake Lewis out in front. The Aprilia of Nobi Iso is there as well, just in that second group. Then it's Joe Roberts on a Honda, Lex Hartle on a Honda, Ryan Matter already halfway through the field on his Honda, while Stuart Aitken-Cade takes a day off from administering the USGPRU. He's out there racing. Just behind the lead group, Jerry Signorelli leads John Schendel. And Joe Roberts leads Nobi Iso and Lex Hartle in this three-way battle for the runner-up spot. Jake Lewis, take out your crayons and color him gone. You don't even see him as the camera pans to the right. Here come the threesome into the clubhouse turn, one of the distinctive corners here at Miller Motorsports Park, and one that often lends itself to race-winning moves. There's Jake Lewis out in front. Jake Lewis looking good. Lex Hartle takes his turn at the front of things to see if he can shake the others. Joe Roberts and Nobi Iso. This is the way these guys have looked since the very drop of the green flag. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1. They just keep switching spots. Actually, the number 1 spot is held by Jake Lewis, and the others battling for the runner-up position. Lewis with a huge lead. Lex Hartle experiencing some kind of difficulty. He ran off the track a little bit. Got up behind somebody. It might have just a little too much brake. So anyway, Hartle running off the track, back on, but he's got a lot of ground to try to make up. Meanwhile, Joe Roberts and Nobi Iso are going to go after each other. Iso inside, Iso alongside. Iso takes the advantage. Here, meanwhile, Jerry Signorelli leading Stu Aitken-Cade, who would be much faster if he had a chance to race a little bit more. Joe Roberts leading Nobi Iso. Lex Hartle not a factor now after running off the track back there. He got shoved up behind Joe Roberts, just caught out. Had to brake a little too hard, and away he went. Iso, using his KG veteran, gets by the youngster Joe Roberts, sets sail on the Aprilia to the start-finish line, and finishes second to Jake Lewis. Joe Roberts will round out the podium. Lex Hartle, disappointing for him, but fourth, and Ryan Matter from dead last on the grid to round out the top 5. Third in our 125 GP championship, there is young Joe Roberts. Nobi Iso, the runner-up here in 2010, and our season champion, Jake Lewis, winning like a champion should, the final event of the year here at Miller Motorsports Park. Congratulations to all of our champions, and our thanks to you for joining us. We'll see you next time here at On the Throttle.